Okay, so today we're going to talk about work orders and maintenance repair orders. So from the supervisor's dashboard, the supervisor on their mobile device can click Add Work Order. From here, they will be able to pick the process line that they happen to be working on. So they'll pick, we'll say, extrusion 08 line, and we'll give this a problem. And we'll say the pump is not working. And is the line down? We're going to say yes, and then it's going to ask what time was the line down. Now we do that because sometimes the reporting is a little bit delayed when the supervisor may be doing some troubleshooting or something like that to get the line up and running. So in this particular case, he was not able to get it up and running, so the line is down, and that allows management to better track uptime. So now the supervisor has done that. They would submit that information. That information now goes out through various means, through an email, a text message, and even a phone call, depending on the urgency, depending on the line. Some lines are tagged daily as priority lines in terms of their repair and where they sit in the priority line in terms of getting those repairs done first. So from there, that then switches over to the maintenance department. So the maintenance department would get that alert. They would be able to go in and they would have some basic information as to what the problem was. They could open up the ticket. They would look at it. They could see it's the extrusion 08 line. They get some information here. It says the pump is not working. They would do some investigation right out of the gate after they got there to try to figure out what the problem was. They know now after visiting the line, they can get an idea as to what equipment it is. So the first thing they can do is they can go back into the application and they can search for the particular line that's giving them some problem. So it happens to be this piece of equipment, and they can see here that they have a situation where in the past the pump will not start. The guide's sitting on an angle, the lid won't close, no power to the belt. So we have a number of problems that we've had with this particular piece of equipment, but it looks like this is the one that's consistent with what the problem is today. So we're going to click on that and see what it was. So we see this was a problem back in August of last year. Or even 2 years ago, and it was a blown fuse. So we're going to immediately check that to see if in fact that is the case this time, and then we do that investigation and we find out in fact that that's what it was a blown fuse. So now we're going to go back to that maintenance. We're going to open up that ticket, and we're going to come down and we're going to open it up, and now we're going to fill out our report now that we've repaired it. We're going to say that this happened to be on the day shift. This was a unscheduled breakdown, and the equipment involved we know was the 059 piece of equipment. The pump was not working. Corrective action was replace the fuse. Did this resolve the problem? Yes, it did. Is the process back up and running? Yes, the process is running, and here's the current time. If we want to adjust that a little bit, so we could say that it was actually fixed at 4:15. The line was now up and running at 4:15, and we can submit that information. Now, if we tried a couple of things before we replaced the fuse, all we would do here is we would just submit this information. So we would say that replacing the fuse, did this, we'll say check for the power was the first thing we did. Did checking the power solve that? No, it didn't. Is the line back up and running? No, it isn't. So we're going to submit that information, and submitting that information now we'll start running a history of the various different actions that we did to check for this problem. So we did the check the cord. The next thing we'll do is we'll say we did a reset. So we did a reset of the power. Was that resolving the problem? No. Is the line back up and running? No, it's not. So we're going to submit that one. So as we submit each one of these, they will start to tally down below as to the corrective actions, and then when we go ahead and we add a corrective action, so we'll go in here and we'll say the corrective action now was replace the fuse. Was the problem resolved? Yes. It will now mark this replacing fuse as the corrective action that resolved the situation. Is the process now up and running? Yes, it is. And now we're going to hit submit and done for this particular corrective action. So now that we have the maintenance done, we can go in and take a look at the equipment here. So we go back to the equipment, we see pump not working, and we'll go in and see the various items that were checked. So check the power, reset the power, replace the fuse with a checkbox next to the corrective action that actually resolved the situation. So that is a quick overview of how the maintenance department and the work orders are managed.